What's up? What's up? What's going down? Straight to the point, sports and entertainment. Hit the like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member. Also hit the notifications to get all of my content, all of my videos. And salute to the whole entire Lions Den basketball and boxing community. Um, I want to give a shout out uh, to all of my subs that's been rocking with me, my day ones, and as well as my new subs. I appreciate it. And Rasheed Wallace, man, one of my personal favorites. Even though I don't agree with everything that Rasheed Wallace has to say, but he definitely is one of my favorite players. But I definitely disagree with him on this when he talks about in regards to Tim Duncan and David Robinson. Now, Rasheed Wallace had came out on record and basically stated that if it was not for David Robinson, Tim Duncan wouldn't be who he is. Basically saying that he made Tim Duncan better. And I have to disagree with that. Okay, now David Robinson, before the injury, he was something special, man. He was a guy that I don't think gets a lot of credit, or one of the ones for truly ushering in, stretching the floor as far as the center position. And I'm not just talking about just, stepping out and hitting the J, but I'm just talking about because he could handle the rock and he could run the floor as a 7'1" guy, was very agile and in really tremendous shape. But when he had that injury, it set him back some. And Tim Duncan had came in, and people got to understand, because Tim Duncan came in '97, and within 2 years, and I know it was the lockout, but you got to also remember, Tim Duncan was also a force when he had helped David Robinson get his second ring too, because he won two rings. He helped David Robinson get 2 rings. Okay, like Tim Duncan was coming in averaging 21 and 11, if I'm not mistaken. David Robinson wasn't really averaging them. I think David Robinson, his scoring average had went down some. I think he went down to like 15 or 16 or something like that. I can't quite remember. And then when they won it in 03, I think it was, his scoring dropped, and he wasn't getting a whole lot of minutes either. He was pretty much done. But that's not true what Rasheed Wallace said. Now, he said it's because David Robinson commanded a lot of attention, but he wasn't the force that he was, when he had first got into the league. You know what I'm saying? When he was, when we talk about he was the MVP in that season that when he ran into Hakeem Olajuwon and everything. It was Tim Duncan that came in and made immediate impact. And one of the things that I don't think Tim Duncan gets talked about a lot is his defense. Okay, Tim Duncan was a defender. Was he the fastest? No. Did he jump the highest? No. But you best believe Tim Duncan was going to defend. He did the dirty work. I don't think he gets enough credit for that. And He was just very agile. He was there. He was a force to be reckoned with, and you even saw that when Tim Duncan had got older. So I disagree with Rasheed Wallace. Like I said, man, David Robinson, of course, he was a tremendous player, but I think it was the other way around. If anything, Tim Duncan had helped out David Robinson because you got to think about it. If it wasn't for Tim Duncan, David Robinson wouldn't have those rings. David Robinson would not have those rings. It's you know it's the other way around, and I know and I witnessed it. And plus, they had this is another thing too that I think gets forgotten. The Spurs always had a good supporting cast, even when they had won that. They had won that championship. Uh, they had some good players. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have like Hall of Fame supporting cast. I'm talking about that very first championship, like in '99 and stuff. But they still had a really good supporting cast, and they were able to get things done. But spinning the block, talking about Tim Duncan and talking about David Robinson, it was the other way around. Um, Now, was David Robinson in his prime a better defender? I would say yeah. He was more athletic. It was because of his athleticism that I felt like he was a slightly better defender than Tim Duncan. But of course, like I said, his injuries have set him back. Now, I think a lot of people they get on David Robinson, man, because of that just just a dominated performance by Hakeem Olajuwon when when he ran into him, during the playoffs or whatnot. People didn't expect Hakeem Olajuwon to really do David Robinson like that, but it happened. But Rasheed Wallace, man, to me, I think he's looking at it more from a perspective of, okay, they still got to worry about David Robinson to some extent, so that gives Tim Duncan more breathing room, because you got to remember they were the Twin Towers. They were the next best Twin Towers besides Ralph Sampson and Hakeem Olajuwon in in Houston, to my recollection. I think that was the only Twin Towers. Just to my recollection, just correct me if I'm wrong, though. You know what I'm saying? Those are the only Twin Towers that I remember was Ralph Sampson, and Hakeem Olajuwon when in H Town. But it was the other way around. Rasheed Wallace, no, I got to disagree with him. I disagree with him wholeheartedly. A lot of people got to understand that Tim Duncan had already came in with a guy that with a demeanor that was already ready to win. I mean, like I said, within 2 years, this wasn't like I always go back to Joel Embiid. Everybody talk about trust the process and Joel Embiid and all this other stuff. Tim Duncan, and we're talking about big men. Since we want to talk about big men, we want to focus on big men. Uh, Joel Embiid, he had came in hurt. Tim Duncan didn't come in hurt. He came in ready to play. He came in ready to go. And he came in a winner. He came in solid. He came in ready to rebound. He came in ready to defend. He came in ready to score if needed to be, which he could do that. Was he as fancy as David Robinson? No. Did he have moves like David Robinson and all this other stuff? No. But he was a good, solid player who played the game the right way, and he played winning championship basketball. And that's all that they needed him to do. That's why he was able to get After David Robinson left, he got 3 more championships on his own. Of course, he had the help of Parker Ginobili, and then eventually Kawhi Leonard. But I mean, even still, Tim Duncan still stayed, and on top of that, he took less money and sacrificed, for championships instead of the money, which is what I think a lot of players should do. That's just in my opinion. But I'm all for getting your bag or whatever. You can't blame um, you know, other players for getting their bag or whatever. But I have a problem with that because a lot of guys could learn a lot from Tim Duncan. In the sense that, okay, you stay there with an organization. It's just like what I think the brother Turah for TV was saying. Shout out to Turah for TV. I was looking at his video earlier in regards to Kawhi Leonard, and like I agree with Turah for TV. It's like these guys, man. They're being spoon fed. Whereas back in the days, you really had to earn your keep. Nowadays, guys are taking the money, and they're pretty much stealing the money, and they're giving the organization little to none. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I understand that you're putting your body on the line. Yes, I understand. There's risks that you take when you play the sport and everything in terms of the afterlife of playing that particular sport. But at the same time, you signed up to do this. This was your profession. This is what you practice for. This is what you signed up for. So a lot of people got to get out of this mindset, and a lot of these players got to get out of the mindset like, okay, yeah, they always owe me something. No, you owe the organization something. And to me, Tim Duncan, a lot of players could learn from Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, I mean, he ran San Antonio. He came to a market that, I mean, San Antonio it's big, you know what I'm saying? But it's not as popular as some of the other cities, like the New York, like the LA, like the Miami, like the Chicago. But it's still a city to where you can market because it does have market value. It does have, some sort of attraction, regardless of what people want to think. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, some people feel that way about Dallas, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? But Dallas is, a way better market, and so is Houston than San Antonio. Just like San Antonio, people look at San Antonio, being me being from Texas or whatever. People look at San Antonio as, just a place to go party and, the river walk, that sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? They don't really identify it with, okay, basketball or something. You know what I'm saying? They didn't. But now when you think of San Antonio, you think of the Spurs. And Tim Duncan had a part in that. David Robinson had a part in that, as well as the other supporting cast did. But I'm not trying to get too off topic, man. Yes, Rasheed Wallace, man, he basically, I disagree with him, man. Like I said, man, Tim Duncan was the one that, to me, came in and made immediate impact. And we got to look at it like this, man. Besides George Gervin, he was able to make, the San Antonio Spurs relevant once again. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there was a time, because the Spurs were always contenders. You gotta think about it. They were always contenders in terms of championship contenders too. You know what I'm saying? And they were always giving, if it wasn't LA, they were giving problems. They were giving other people problems in the Western Conference as well. They were always in the mix. So y'all let me know what you think, man. It was just something that I wanted to talk about. Make sure you like the video, share it, subscribe, hit them notifications too. Straight to the point, sports and entertainment, man. I'll get at y'all later.